Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and a game between Nerchio and Happy here on Daybreak. Nerchio spawning as the red Zerg on the bottom left hand side of the map. Meanwhile, the Terran player Happy in blue spawning on the top right hand side of the map. Terran versus Zerg on Daybreak. Pretty much know what to expect. There hasn't been a lot of changes in the map pool as of late. No new introduction of maps. I think everyone is just waiting for Heart of the Swarm, and because of that, they are just slowly going to transition over, or apparently abruptly transition over, as new maps, new balance has been set up there. Now, the strategies that we'll be seeing here on Daybreak will most likely be similar strategies as players haven't really been reinventing the game more than just trying to build very common standard tactics. We can see so far that Happy is not going for a proxy 2 racks, and with no proxy 2 racks, I am assuming that Happy is going to be doing a much more traditional play, perhaps a 1 racks expand, or he could go for that refinery at 13 and then try to go into a reactor Hellion expansion. I would be quite surprised if Happy doesn't go for an expansion at this point, as both players are really set on trying to go on one base. We are going to see Nerchio already make his way down with a 15 hatchery. It has been placed down there as an SCV is on the move. Meanwhile, taking a look at what Happy is doing, Happy is setting up that barracks now. Should follow it up with an orbital command here, train up some Marines, and then build a command center here. This SCV gonna come up the ramp, take a look, sees exactly where when this hatchery was placed down at about the 2-minute 10-second mark, and now knows that the spawning pool is just coming online. Orbital command for some reason. Oh, it looks as though Nerchio or Happy likes to go for that 17 SCV or 16 SCVs, excuse me. 2 more are out in the field before upgrading to an orbital command. You can see Marines are being trained. There should be a new command center down here in just a moment, as the spawning pool will be placed down. The question will be whether or not one Marine will be able to get in position here in time. Meanwhile, an Overlord is getting shooed away. Nerchio wanting to perhaps know how much gas that Happy will be using, but will not get any true indicator just quite yet. Happy now going into double gas inside his main base, and this is going to be a little bit of a tricky situation if Nerchio does try to come back and harass with some Zerglings. Instead of the customary 4 Zerglings, it looks like Nerchio is only going to be going for 2, and with only 2 Zerglings, Happy doesn't really have to worry about that much harassment. We can see now a supply depot needs to be placed down. There it is off over here. Happy was supply blocked. Now sitting at 21/27. This is not good news for him, as he still needs to play and catch up in the economic game. We can see so far Marines now being trained, drones still down over here, and taking a look at the strategy. What is Happy going to be doing? Placing down a bunker, getting some Marines inside, upgrading that to an orbital command when the resources are right, and should be able to hold off against those 2 Zerglings that are now trying to come up the ramp. So far, though, we still don't see a 3rd base, and Nerchio may be trying to take that 3rd base just now. There you have it. There's that 3rd base, as 2 Zerglings are able to sneak inside. There is a reactor. There are going to be some Hellions now coming into play, and the game seems a little bit slower than your typical game. Both of these players now just setting up economic games. We are going to be seeing a tech lab now placed down by this barracks, and we'll see if that is going to be a swap, as Happy looks to be going for heavy mech. 1 Marine in a bunker. This Marine simply looking for Overlords. Not going to really be able to find very much at all, as Happy going to be content sitting on 2 bases, but he's not really training up the necessary SCVs. He's going into that double Hellion production right now, and we are going to see perhaps a liftoff of the factory, land once more, and then try and go for even more, go for that Infernal Pre-Igniter. One thing to note, Happy is only getting 1 SCV on each of these refineries. And with only 1 on each of these refineries, that means that his gas intake is not all that high. Infernal Pre-Igniter is being researched. They will be able to torch Zerglings in 2 shots. That is important. But we already see the Roach Roaring coming in from Nerchio, and Nerchio is looking very strong at being able to fend off whatever Happy is going to try and execute. These Hellions, not altogether that powerful. We'll see what these Hellions are going to be able to do. Trying to get inside here. There are Queens blocking the path. I just don't see that much damage really being dealt. Maybe a drone or 2 at most, perhaps a larva, but beyond that, I don't believe much can really be done to stop them. Let's see what's happening back over here in this neck of the woods. Hellions now hitting or sitting over by the Zelnaga Tower. That is going to be a lot of Hellions coming in from Happy. Infernal Pre-Igniter will start to really make a difference here as the Queens are still trying to hold this off. If we see that many Hellions on the field, 6, perhaps even 9 to 12 Hellions, it doesn't really matter that the Hellions are not that effective against Queens. It's going to be the sheer numbers and their mobility. Another drone may get taken down here. Yes, it looks like it will get torched. And now the Hellions are once again on the move, heading back home. Hellions now coming down together. We see overall unit count. We have 12 Hellions working together. That is going to be some crazy damage. 12 times 8 is 96. At least that's what my math teacher told me. As we now see them going up against some Roaches. Here you have it. The Hellions coming in, star bursting all of those units. And this is going to cause some problems. The Roaches now getting taken down. Down they go as a new Hellion there to replace the one that was lost. And Nerchio will really need to figure out what his strategy is going to be. These Hellions now trying to back away. The Queens and the Roaches are all together. This one poor Queen, a new Roach, is going to get right behind as the Hellions are now slipping inside and getting inside the mineral patch. Alright, that's going to be a lot of dead drones here in just a moment. A lot of drones getting cleaned up. Happy now down to 62 supply compared to Nerchio's 86. Harvesters were killed. 39 drones compared to 37. More workers getting killed as the last of the Hellions will get finished off. Now back up to 49 drones though. And this is just really strong play by Nerchio. Nerchio is not getting phased by Happy's play. You would normally think Terran kills 22 drones. He's got to be happy with himself. He's got to feel that he did some economic damage. You take a look at the numbers, 58 drones to 40. Nerchio just had 1 round of injects off of 3 hatcheries, and now goes, you know what? That didn't deal nearly as much damage as you thought. I'm simply going to walk in. And now here you have it, Roaches simply walking in. There is a siege tank in the back though, but Happy is going to be forced to lift off and land. And what is going to be happening here? That orbital command now getting in a little bit too close. And what is this Roach doing? All right, Roach is going to engage and try to take down another orbital here. And this is going to force Happy to sit on 2 bases. That 1 base advantage for Nerchio with heavier saturation, 51 drones compared to 42 SCVs, will be a very telling difference as Happy now playing a little bit of defense with those 2 siege tanks. You can see 4 factories are in play. We are going into a starport. Thors are being trained. Hellions are being trained. And is that going to be enough? We can see a transition into a Spire as well. And the question will be, are we going to be perhaps going to see Broodlords anytime soon? Or is it just going to be Mutalisks? If it is Mutalisks, I do believe the Thors are going to shut them down, as the Thors do deal splash damage, and it at least forces a Zerg player to try and magic box. These Roaches now making a move as a 4th base being established by Nerchio. Overlord spewing creep, making sure that Happy is unable to take this base at the 3 o'clock position for a little while longer. What will be happening next? Marines now making their way off here to the north. We can see siege tanks, Thors are in position. Supply depots just layered across the field. A 30 supply discrepancy between these 2 players as the Hellions now simply drive up once more. Happy looking to deal damage, perhaps getting the right exact combination of units as a couple drones will get torched. There goes, oh, 1 drone A lot of the drones actually surviving. Oh, that final shot there, getting in an additional, I believe, about 8 or 9 kills. But it is still 69 to 50 SCVs, with Nerchio double expanding at this point to the top left and in the center 9 o'clock position. Thors are in positions there. As you can see, the Mutalisks are trying to run away. Are the Thors going to be able to get in position? Yes, they are, as a barracks now lifts off. SCVs are trying to repair this missile turret. This Thor off over here, unable to engage. Is it going to be able to get close enough? Yes, missile turret is online. And how many workers were killed? Not very many workers at all by Nerchio, as there is still a 40 supply discrepancy. Nerchio has to feel very confident. He doesn't need to press too hard. He has the third base completely scouted out. He knows when that base will be taken. He knows that he has the economic advantage running on 5 bases to 3. Even the main base, as soon as it is mined out, all the drones will probably just be transferred to the top left. And as long as there are Mutalisks in the air, the Mutalisks will perhaps do a little bit of controlling on those Hellions. Thor's a bit too slow, as Happy now ventures forth to this third base. We'll be establishing up here in just a moment. 3 siege tanks, 1 poor roach, quickly gonna get taken out and killed on the field. Vikings are ready. More roaches being added. We do see ventral sacks, as Nerchio now perhaps going into a doom drop. No perhaps about it. Definitely the case from what I'm seeing, and all of these roaches are gonna cause a bit of problems. Let's see, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. I believe that is about 40 roaches in that group there, as we are going to be seeing some Hellions here. Now, if they drop straight up on top of these siege tanks, that will be a problem. Happy does have some missile turrets, and is Nerchio going to lose a lot of his units here? You can see that there is a bit of overlap. Overlords are in position. There you go, dropping all of the roaches pretty much straight up on all of these units. The Thors, are the Overlords going to perhaps start spewing some creep? That is the question, as we now see an engagement still. The roaches cleaning up all of the Thors. The siege tanks splash damage, hitting up some of their own SCVs, as Happy now down to 79 supply. Nerchio just doing a great job here. It looks as though a Thor is getting massively repaired, but still not going to be enough. More siege tanks now bringing up the rear. Siege tanks are upgraded to 1-1 and need to be upgraded 2-2 in order to handle some of these, as we now have Nerchio backing off once more. Alright, Nerchio, unit compositions, 36 roaches. If at first you succeed, do it again, except roaches just simply going to be walking over to this third base. 1 siege tank is able to blast back again, 55 damage per attack plus splash. Always so effective, as Nerchio now perhaps should reconsider moving with all of these units. That 1 siege tank, oh no, the siege tank decided to retreat all the way back and try to give a little bit of ground to perhaps hold this off. You can see that the orbital command will be lifting off. Happy does not want to lose it. But this mass roach strategy really taking its toll. Nerchio with a stronger economic advantage. You can see Hellions now joining in, able to torch up that 4th base, but I don't even think Nerchio cares. At this point, Nerchio saying, you know what, you can free up some supply. I don't need these drones. I'm already sitting on a 1400 bank, and if I simply move out and attack you with what I've got, I don't believe you've got anything to really handle it. More drones, I'm going to get taken down. Roaches coming in, corralling the rest of those Hellions. There they go. As we do have 11 Corruptors who will become Broodlords if there is enough supply room. 3 more Broodlords most likely will be coming in. Roaches, are they going to be charging down that front door? I believe that to be the case. Where are these units perhaps trying to travel to next, as there are 6 Vikings looking to prevent any mass Broodlord action? Here you go, the Corruptors going after the Vikings. The Corruptors do move slightly faster, but they are now bottling up and now getting underneath that, or on top of that Thor. That is not a good engagement at all. All of those Vikings now taken down, as the Corruptors now looking to back off. The Corruptors, however, take really reduced damage from those Thors, from 7 to 5 damage each, as the roaches now just swarming the inside of the base. You can see 1 Mutalisk going up against 2 Vikings. It doesn't matter what's happening in the air, as everything on the ground is taking care of this all. Siege tanks, roaches, but the roaches are swarming here, and I believe Happy will be giving up the GG in just a moment. Nerchio taking an early advantage and never really relinquishing it. Happy killing over 62 workers and still unable to pull off the victory there, not able to do enough critical damage, as Nerchio was free to just mass drone up throughout the game. Even if he lost 62 workers, let's take a look at his harvester count. It is still at 84. Can you believe it? Nerchio has trained more than 186 drones. 186 drones plus every building you see on the field is how many drones he's created. That's probably upwards of over 200 at this point. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed Game 1. Please stay tuned for Game 2.